You wake up from a nightmare, only to realize you're still in one.
The only difference is that you're awake. This is Scavenger. Before your adventure starts, you must choose your skills. They will determine a lot. There are people that say that you should avoid combat at all costs. Now, please feel free to explain to me where the fun in that is. The biggest danger that you should be careful around is water. Hey, it's me, Ego Raptor Reference. You may be asking why. Well, go try drinking from any water source and come back to me. Oh, you're back now? Either in heaven or more likely a place not even Satan would collect rent from. Your butter factory. You're more likely to succumb to diarrhea than any monster lurking in the dark. What will save you is boiling the water using a soup can, or if you're lucky, a rare, legendary item, the saucepan. You can also try using a whiskey bottle, which I would consider faux pas, as opposed to the C word, which is very delicious, but comes with another C word. Consequences that you will ignore because the best way of learning is experience. But how do I get fire? You pick trapping as a skill and use the power of friction. You could try scavenging for a lighter, or use sunlight and binoculars, but that would be supporting self-owie. And you're better than that. Now here, I made desperation again. Eat up! The world of Michigan holds many secrets. Most of them kill you, either fast or slowly. Some are very good when you meet certain conditions. One of the things that you must understand is how to use the hotkeys while scavenging the wasteland. A place has been ravished and picked apart a dozen of times, some areas more than others. If you come across buildings that are crumbling and full of scavenge it anyway! You might find something good! Just because someone else has been there doesn't mean to have it take all the good stuff! If you find a locked shack and you have a crowbar, or stumble across a house in the woods, you might find something good! I forgot what this— Oh, and be careful, those piles of rubble might injure you. And if you don't have sterilized water and clean bandages to treat your wounds, infection will have free real estate in your temple. You don't need to have clean rags, but some people say it's a good idea. You can clean them by boiling them in water. Keep in mind, items weigh something. So when possible, carry plastic bottles instead of glass. If you're dragging around more than you can carry, you're gonna be pretty slow. Be mindful of your inventory. The less you bring with you when leaving your base, the more you can pick up and bring back. So if you don't need to carry around your extensive rock collection, then you don't need to bring it with you if it's not necessary for your journey. Also, if you find a rifle laying around and you don't plan on picking it up and bringing it back to your base, hold 3 on your keyboard to destroy it, or right-click and select options and then destroy. Because there are other scavengers than you. And if they find that laying around, they're going to try to pick it up. And if they have one bullet, you're taking a risk. If you stumble across pieces of news, you can read how terrible things are. Oh, wait. How terrible things were before they got worse. Be careful when emptying your backpack. You don't accidentally destroy it. That would really suck if that happened. And if you really like carrying lots of stuff, find a sled or shopping cart. If you find a sled and it doesn't have a strap, you can make one using 2 medium strings. You better not get caught dragging that thing around awkwardly. That would be embarrassing. No cost is too great for cultivating aura or anything that might threaten it. That's why you need a— Oh, wait. That's why you need a weapon. Let me introduce you to my greatest ally, the Broad Spear. It requires any combat skill, melee, or range. Large, rigid, flexible shaft, sharp edge. Small or medium, flexible, non-food object. Small, rigid, sharp edge with point. Watch the condition of the items you're using to craft your spear, because they will determine the condition of the spear itself. When condition reaches 0, it breaks. Now you might be saying, that's just a stick with a piece of glass at the end of it. Well, I'd like to inform you that this has served me well, and has even served me dinner. on multiple occasions. Shockingly, attacking everybody you see is sometimes not a good idea, especially when they have a ranged weapon and a part of a settlement. That's right, there are settlements where you can trade, make money, get healed, and interact with the plot. The ATN and the DMC, those are friendly factions. By friendly, I mean they don't immediately kill you unless you piss them off. Marfa's army are relatively neutral unless you are openly carrying high-tech items such as night vision goggles. They really hate technology. Looters are technically not a faction. They also are not exactly neutral, especially when they have a ranged weapon. They will fire at you. And if they don't, that's because they don't have ammunition. They can easily be scared away, especially when you look intimidating. Your aura is at an optimal level. Keep in mind, though, that if you're sleeping and they're nearby, they're gonna try to steal from you. To avoid potential enemies getting the drop on you, create noise traps so you'll be alerted when someone enters your vicinity. Bad Mufas are your competition. There are other abominable creatures, but most of them aren't unionized yet. The Church of the Blue Frog. These guys suck. Do not get within a 4-tile vicinity of them as they carry the blue rot, which will most likely be your death in mid-game or late, unless you get the vaccine. Ironically enough, getting the vaccine requires autism to know exactly what steps to take. The cultists are also very frequently hostile, even if you wear their uniform, which gives you a chance they won't attack on sight. If you encounter them without have gotten the vaccine, which is one of the more difficult items to obtain and not something you can find in the wild. But once you do, you have lifelong immunity to it. There is a small chance that you can heal yourself without it. Even with the best healing items, there's a small chance of it. Also, be warned that in random events, you can still contract blue rot if you get too close to a blue frog cultist. If that happens, choosing the option to avoid getting close to them will be the best one. To get the vaccine, you have to enter the Saginaw Mental Institution. There are multiple ways of getting the vaccine. There's also a route that gives you the vaccine, along with the biggest reward that any quest has, and even bigger when you have the medical skill. For your generous reward, you must first take the items and bring them with you and then talk to Hatter, a businessman who can give missions, and he can give you access to what you will first see as the Globe, a DMC pass to Detroit megacity. You can tell this is the future because there are flying cars along with functioning police. He will give you the pass if you accept his quest to obtain a silver urn for him or impress him with your sick videotape. You will be shocked to know which one of these options gives you the unstoppable trait. The worst possible choice, however, is choosing the alternative quest of finding 3 iPads for a security system. This is a terrible decision and should never be done under any circumstances, as it is lame. And you do not want to be lame. And after you've shown your competence, he will give you another mission. Just remember that Hatter is a businessman. Your safety is not a priority. Though in the DMC, you'll have access to purchasing healthcare services and cybernetic implants for your eyes. This does not come cheap. Inside the city, you'll also find at the Red Gnome Diner or the Canteen Truck, along with the one and only convenience store. That's right, and plot opportunities to get exiled from the city. Outside of DMC, you'll also enjoy fine dining, trade at the junk market, or enjoy the unlicensed power tap. There's also St. James Parkade. However, to be quite frank, it is terrible and not a good use of money, since you can camp and find shelter in any of the abandoned buildings. Let me tell you, if you don't pay for your rent for that day, all your stored pieces of string and packets of ketchup will be stolen! Even in the post-apocalypse, the greed of landlords have mutated. And even sleeping and unloading your hard-earned treasures in a parked pickup truck, the most affordable option, costs $20 a day. They don't even own land. They own parked vehicles. They're parking lords. And if you're feeling extra enterprising, you can explore the Great Swamp. Just make sure not to do it too close to the DMC. There's practically no loot there. I wish I had learned that earlier. The swamp sucks. You mainly have to look for crash sites. And in my opinion, it does not have better loot than you can find in the overworld. Plus, you need to be wearing a gas mask and functioning cartridges, which are hard to come by. The risk versus reward for traversing the swamp isn't worth it. And how do you get cartridges? You get them by defeating Blue Frog cultists. Not exactly easy. Plus, very frequently, the cartridges that they do have are spent or have very low condition if you're lucky. But, what I did find at a crash site, once I found a crash site. And it was... Also, keep in mind, this is permadeath. But it is possible to save your game in case you don't want to lose 15 hours of hoarding. This has happened to me multiple times. So if you really don't like that, you can save your game by going to this part of your computer and finding this file, copying to a safe location, and in case you want to replay that part, you can paste it back. Neo's Scavenger does have an ending. Good luck getting there without reading the wiki, and if you do find the ending location, good luck making the correct choices of getting in and out alive. Depending if you have one specific skill, but if you don't, make sure to collect potato chip bags and foil. They'll become important. Have a stockpile at your base. In short, would I recommend this equivalent of smashing your walnuts repeatedly with a ball-peen hammer? Yes! I like this. This satisfies all of my favorite antisocial traits.